Welcome to the CEO's blog this week, and as indicated last week, masks are going to be necessary to be worn in certain circumstances at race meetings. Those circumstances are when participants and stewards are holding an inquiry, and also when technicians are in the swabbing area and a person is handling a horse. These are the places where we cannot guarantee social distancing. What we are doing is encouraging all participants to wear a mask if they believe they can't social distance. Now, we have to take responsibility for our own health, for the health of others. So whilst I say it's not mandatory to wear a mask at a race meeting or a trial, we strongly suggest you do so. As we know, the government hasn't introduced mandatory mask wearing at this stage, but we will be very observant of any direction that they take. In respect of travel, the government also is strongly encouraging people around New South Wales not to undertake non-essential travel. That is the reason why we must keep the regionalisation boundaries in place. It is an encumbrance on people, and I can only apologise, but this is for the protection of the entire industry. It affects some if we move those boundaries more so than it affects others. So we'll have to bear with it, and hopefully we can come out of this before we get to the Breeders' Challenge series, which will begin in September. However, please remember your social distancing, please remember your hygiene, please remember your mask if you can, and enjoy harness racing as much as we can whilst we do continue racing. And we've been very, very fortunate that during this lengthy period now, harness racing, the entire racing industry has been able to continue to operate. And as I mentioned there, the Breeders' Challenge and the TROTS New South Wales postponed series, the conditions have been signed off by the board yesterday. What do those conditions provide? They provide greater opportunity for participants, and what they really do provide is the fact that we will make every endeavour to run this series. Very difficult times, unprecedented times as we work forward, but we will be conducting these on a regional basis as best as we can. But we do have protocols to bring the horses in from the regions to Tabcorp Park Menangle for the semi-finals and the finals of the main series. There are other protocols, especially with respect of horses coming in from Victoria and Queensland. So they will be live on our website, the conditions and those protocols this afternoon. So I urge all participants to carefully look at them now. The series doesn't start until early September, where there will be more tracks conducting these the main series heats. There will be more main series heats. So I urge you to have a look at those conditions, be aware of those conditions, be absolutely across it so that you aren't disappointed perhaps if you misunderstand something. If you do want an interpretation, certainly ring Sean Snudden and he will certainly be able to point you in the right direction as far as the conditions are concerned. I thank everybody that made a submission towards the postponed series. There will be other parts of the Breeders' Challenge that we will be reviewing going forward, in particular bonus system. So be aware that they're coming out, and please, where you can, put your thoughts forward and help Harness Racing New South Wales figure where we're going with these very important aspects of the sport. As many of you are aware, we have an Education and Welfare Committee headed up by Maurice Logue. The board yesterday signed off on a traineeship program and mandatory education for licence upgrades. So I suggest you keep in line with those things when you contact the registration department or Maurice Logue to learn more. But the traineeships is something that harness racing in New South Wales has never had before, and it's a giant step forward. But whilst we talk about giant step forwards, we also have the Rehoming Company headed up by Peter Nugent. They are making steps forward which will help us with how we deal with our beautiful animals that we have when they go into retirement. So be aware of those two very important groups, and where you can, please be involved. Participants should be aware that the state and federal government do have assistance packages. Only this week, Wally Mann, as the Secretary of the UHRA made representations to Harness Racing New South Wales so that we can assist you, the participants who are eligible to receive these packages, can have some guidance and some direction in this respect. Have a look at the shot on the screen now and see what the two primary points are that you must meet before you progress this. If you need help, drop an email to the executive email address or phone the government assistance line and they will help you. But wherever we can help you, we will, and wherever the UHRA can help you, they will. Please, if you do qualify, take advantage of what the government is offering with these subsidies. Another new initiative that came out of the board meeting yesterday was the formation of an innovation group. Harness Racing New South Wales will be seeking people with a positive attitude towards taking this industry forward, who will come up with new ideas, new enhancements that will make the industry more appealing to the wider audience out there. So keep an eye on text messages and emails that we send out with an invitation for you to join this group. It won't be a selected group, it will be on voluntary basis only, and it'll be your opportunity to put forward ideas that you believe can take the industry forward. The group will work through those ideas, explore how they can work, will they work, and take it forward for the board to sign off sometime in the future, and I hope it's not too long into the future. Innovation is what we need. Innovation and change is not necessarily everything that we must do, but it's something, if we're going to have a future and have an image that's appealing to younger people, a wider demographic, we need to take that forward. So when we put that out there, I encourage all you positive thinkers, you forward thinkers, to be part of this group. So many highlights again this week, and we start last Friday at Wagga. Nathan Hoy landed a driving double, one with his sister April's mare, Cinder Rockefeller, whilst David Kennedy and Jackson Painting also combined for a double, including the win of promising filly Adira. Saucy Dreams for David Druitt extended her lead in the Wagga Horse of the Year with her 5th win of the season at Riverina Paceway. There was a fall at the meeting, but it's pleasing to report that both dislodged drivers Todd Day and Shane Hallcrop suffered no major injuries and their horses were fine also. At Newcastle on Friday night, there were 7 different trainers with only Clayton Harmey landing a double. Tom Ison driving 3 winners whilst Lee Sutton drove 2. Tabcorp Park Menangle was where Luke McCarthy landed 5 consecutive winners on Saturday night, including About the Attitude for Canberra-based trainer Michael Hawke. Michael is one of many trainers who have had to travel long distances and compete out of their normal zone due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the regionalisation, and deserves the rewards of effort and contribution. Craig Cross trained 4 winners, one of which was Cash and Flow in a sensational time of 1:49.2. The horse has now recorded 9 wins on end. It was a day for the locals at Dubbo on Sunday, with Jack Pay landing his first winner on Jacob's Thunder for his father Michael, whilst Jackie Ingham won with I'm All Right for her grandfather Lex Bramble, and James Sutton trained and drove Yarraman Bella. Monday at Menangle, Jason Grimson trained and drove a double, whilst Ellen Rickson landed a double for her father Peter on Ed Mendes and also for Kerry McDowell. Tuesday at Menangle, there were 8 races for 8 different trainers and 8 different drivers. But all the credit must go to the track team at Tabcorp Park Menangle, led by Jimmy Chang and Owen Mulligan, as over 70 millimetres of rain fell over the 4 days, yet 3 meetings and 24 races were held without an issue between Saturday and Tuesday. Well done to all concerned. At Young on Tuesday night, David and Ross Druitt landed doubles, as did Bruce Harpley, who timed his runs to perfection with both his wins. At Gold Crown Paceway Bathurst on Wednesday night, Peter Bullock landed a double with the 2 Shannons, Olivia and Lassiter, for Peter and Mari Neal, driven by Amy Rees and Kimberly Grant respectively. There were 7 different winning trainers and 8 different winning drivers at Bathurst on the night. Tamworth yesterday afternoon, and Ernie Mabbitt and Brad Elder both landed doubles, whilst it was great to see Jake Mitchell win with Gotta Shop early. And at Penrith last night, there were 8 different winning trainers and 7 different winning drivers, with Josh Gallagher landing a double. And unfortunately, our sick list or injured list is growing. Michael Muscat, hopefully today, will have that second operation. He was to have it last week to his fractured leg, but it was deferred. It was deferred again from earlier this week. So, Michael, our thoughts are out there with you. Stay strong, young man, and if you need anything, you know Morris Logue is here to assist you and your family, whatever the case may be. It's pleasing to know that Emma Turnbull is slowly recovering back home at the Lagoon under the care of her mother, Wendy. And from that horrific fall at Inverell in March, it is pleasing to note that Ellie Chappell has been cleared to return to race driving, but for Sarah Rushbrook, she will be off the track for several months whilst she continues to recuperate. And Ray White is much improved after his fall at Wagga last month. And a special get well to Doug Moore from Brooklyn Lodge. As we know, Doug was severely injured in that terrible fall through the roof of the stables several years ago now. He's been recovering, but unfortunately has had a couple of setbacks in more recent times. So Dougie, get well. We want to see you back out there doing all the operations at Brooklyn Lodge as best as you can. That is the blog for this week. Until next week, I wish you all the best. As I say, be responsible for yourself, be responsible for the participants around you. Where you can, please wear a mask. Where you can't, social distance, definitely wear a mask, and stay well, and we'll keep racing on in New South Wales. Thank you, and until next week, have a great week.